Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome indeed to the official virtual launch of the 2021 Northern Ireland Heritage Angel Awards. This past year has been challenging, to say the least, hasn't it? So it's really great after a sabbatical in 2020 to have the chance once again to celebrate something, to come together with the Andrew Lloyd Webber Foundation and the Department of Communities to recognise the unsung heroes of local heritage. Now, tonight we'll have all the information that you need to help you either apply or nominate someone for a Heritage Angel Award. And as a real treat, we're also going to have a chance for you to experience some of the really wonderful songs and spoken word from previous years, which were all especially created to help celebrate our local built heritage. So to get us started, please will you welcome an artist who performed at the very first Heritage Angel Awards way back in 2017, seems like a lifetime ago, doesn't it now, in the Grand Opera House in Belfast. It was a terrific award ceremony and we were delighted then to have him with us and equally delighted to have with us today, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Toner.
This is a song called 6 Inches of Water, and this was inspired by a visit to Templemore Baths in East Belfast, quite close to where I'm living. We met a gentleman there called David who gave us a lovely tour of the building, including the old parts of the building that are no longer in use. And there was a series of rooms with baths in them, and they were basically the public baths there. And the idea, the way the baths work, was that there was a tap on the outside and a tap on the inside, and the tap on the outside was controlled by the employee of the baths. And when you went in there with your towel and your bar of soap and closed the door, he would turn this outside tap on and it was blazing hot water. I mean, it's like a health and safety nightmare. And he would give you an allocated amount of hot water, and on the inside was the cold water tap, and the person inside was supposed to top that up rather, with cold water to get the bath to the temperature they liked. And I was asking him about this process, and I said, could you pay extra for more or anything? And he said, oh no, everybody who came in here got exactly the same 6 inches of water. And I thought, well, that's a nice idea for the song, the kind of equality at work there. So the song kind of came out of that process. And I'm delighted to have done it for the Ulster Architectural Heritage Society and to continue playing it for them. So here it is. Coming home with a face so dirty, your mother wouldn't know you. All week catching steel in the wind with the shipyard below you. When Friday comes and my bones are sore, I join the queue down at Templemore. We get a chance to be as clean as the day we were born. 'Cause I live by the sweat of my brow like my father did before me. He said, son, you have to look your best or the world will just ignore you. Just when you think you're gonna lose all hope, you get a towel and a bar of soap. You get a chance to let the working week roll down the drain. We get the same 6 inches of water. We get the same 6 inches of water. All the workers and the kings and queens, they come in dirty and they go out clean. They get the same 6 inches of water. There's a girl on Mcmanus Street, we're nearly going steady. I clean the dirt from my fingernails and I get my shoes ready. I hear the hammers ringing in my dreams, but I let it all go up in steam. Start thinking about the way we're gonna look on the dance floor. We get the same 6 inches of water. We get the same 6 inches of water. All the workers and the kings and queens, they come in dirty and they go out clean. They get the same 6 inches of water. We get the same 6 inches of water. We get the same 6 inches of water. We won't worry if we're rich or not. Some like it cold, some like it hot. They get the same 6 inches of water.
Anthony, thanks so much. It was lovely to hear that again. Great memories of the Templemore Baths. Now, since the awards began in 2017, there have been 29 winners. So to give you a flavour of the sheer diversity of all of these winning projects and what it was that made each and every one of them so very special, we're going to chat to a couple of our previous angels. First up, well, Marty and Melanie Hamill in 2019 won the Best Rescue of a Historic Building or Place for projects under 2 million.
Strangford Presbyterian Church had been on the Buildings at Risk register for more than a decade when Melanie and Marty Hamill moved in next door after many years away from Northern Ireland. They'd always assumed that someone, sometime, would save the landmark building, but it quickly became clear that that someone would have to be them and that the time would have to be now.
The conservation surveyor that we worked with, he described it as being on a tipping point. It had slowly declined over many years, but if something wasn't done, it was going to drop off a cliff. We discussed lots of different options, and we settled on use as tourist accommodation. We wanted to do the building justice, but we didn't have limitless resources. We used very skilled local tradesmen within the village or within the parish.
So there's a lot of research done on our part and helping them, and they were advising us as well. It was like a two-way thing.
Over the years, the facade had been painted with modern paints, and it had trapped the moisture behind. And once that old lime plaster gets sodden and wet, it loses the strength. It took a lot of time and effort to put right.
The ceiling rose, so there were parts of it missing when the ceiling had collapsed, so we got moulds taken and that was repaired meticulously. The pulpit was so large, it wasn't something we could just have sitting in the middle of the living room, so we very carefully moved it and now it forms part of the new staircase. We couldn't actually find the front door key, so my father took apart the original lock and managed to build us a key.
He also helped with the restoration of the organ.
Unfortunately, it was sitting under the hole in the ceiling.
He took it to pieces, you know, and over weeks and weeks restored it into fully working order.
Any of our new interventions that we've made are to the rear of the building, and anything that we've done is reversible, basically. So we've put in a steel structure, we've created glass floors so you can still see the full windows. Within the new spaces, we've created internal windows, so you still have a connection out to the sanctuary space. So you very much have a feeling if you wake up in this church that you know where you are, you're fully aware of the history of the space that you're in. We're hoping to have some community events within the church also, that the local village can use it for events.
We've done something for ourselves, but we've done something for the community, and we've done something for future generations, because this building is safe, I think, for years to come.
And Melanie joins us now on the line. Hi Melanie, good to see you.
Hello Wendy, nice to see you again.
So What about your project? It was a church that you renovated, and you'd already done quite a bit of work to your house. Was renovating a church so much more of a challenge?
It was a challenge. Obviously, the church was listed and it had been derelict for quite a long time when we took it on board. But it's now a very successful tourist accommodation. We have achieved 5-star rating from the tourist board, and it's just been fantastic.
I'm just looking at the lovely window behind you. I think, are you in it at the moment? Yes.
I am indeed, yes.
How lovely. And the sun's blasting in. It must be a gorgeous place on a day like this.
It is indeed.
Lovely. So the business that your tourist accommodation business that is in the former church, you were saying that's been a success.
It has. We have had hundreds of guests. Whenever we were able to be open, obviously we're closed at the minute, which is why I'm able to sit here talking to you. But when it was open, we've had hundreds of guests from all over the world. The church really has become a destination in itself. A lot of people are interested in the heritage and architecture of the church and want to come and see it. So it really has been very successful for us.
And just remind us briefly, if you would, I mean, it was a project that you really wanted to undertake because you realised that if you didn't do it, maybe nobody was going to, and it was really getting into a bit of a perilous state, wasn't it?
Yes, it was on the buildings at risk register for a number of years. I'm an architect myself, so it was my design and it was me on site each day with the builders, and just myself, and my husband's an engineer. So between the two of us, we really knuckled down to try and get it done and save the building.
Between the two of you and your dad, do I remember correctly? Was that right? It has something to do with the organ?
The organ behind me here, actually. But yes, he restored the organ for us and made the front door key as well for us. He was a great help.
A very vital part. Hard to get in without one. So has it whetted your appetite? I mean, have there been any other projects since, or have you anything else in mind, perhaps?
I think our next project will be our house next door, which is not listed, but it is approximately 100 years older than the church. So you can imagine it needs quite a bit of work done.
Well, the very best of luck with that, and congratulations again on winning your award. And thank you so much for talking to us today. And I mean, just maybe in a word or two, what would you say to anyone watching this to encourage them to get past that, what I've done might not be good enough moment, and really have a go?
I think you can achieve, even in a listed building like this, and it was derelict and really run down for quite a long time, if you do it in a considered and appropriate way, you can achieve it. It's very, very rewarding once you do.
Well, thanks so much. Nice to see you again, and thanks for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
Melanie Hamill there. Well, I hope that helped to whet your appetite, that glimpse of just one of the award categories under which you can either apply yourself or indeed nominate someone else. So let's take a look at all of those categories and also the all-important details of where to access the application form. So the first award category is Best Maintenance of an Historic Building or Place. Then there's Best Rescue of an Historic Building or Place for projects under £1 million. Best Major Regeneration of an Historic Building or Place, projects over £1 million. Best Contribution to a Heritage Project by Young People. Best Craftsperson or Apprentice on a Heritage Rescue or Repair Project. And Best Interpretation of an Historic Building or Place. You can apply or nominate at www.heritageangelawards-ni.org.uk. www.heritageangelawards, all one word, -ni.org.uk. And you'll see in silver on the screen there the all-important deadline, which is the 31st of May 2021. So if you're going to apply or nominate, the very best of luck to you. Now, next we have another treat, this time not in song, but in poetry. The poet Maria Mcmanus at the 2019 awards ceremony, which took place in the historic city of Armagh, well, she captivated us with her specially commissioned piece, Maria Mcmanus.
These poems are inspired by the Armagh Observatory, which was built in the late 1700s by Archbishop Richard Robinson. Ellipsis. In the beginning was wonder, the far distance, the darkness, the miraculous falling ripe as an apple on Isaac in his orchard, or low hanging when Eve reached heavenwards, blushing in her garden. Before and since, we are always in the wake of birds, their potency, their disregard for gravity, mocking, sassy, contrary. They are our daring vagabonds, our emissaries. See here, terns in their endless chase of daylight, swans lamenting mortality, or swifts softening a nest with down foraged in midair, corncrakes navigating by Polaris and the Southern Cross. All the while, here we are, earthbound, gathering our unfiltered coalition of old thinking for pinpricks of enlightenment. Idle too, perhaps. Think of Archimedes bathing, or Cucula, soporific and drowsy, imagining those monkeys at their mischief, swinging by their tails and chasing, clumsily as we untangle mysteries of affinity, attraction, valency, the lunar pull, humanity circling the unknown, what we've disowned, what we've lost. Artemis. Whipple fashioned a sunglass for a lens, a candle box as camera, the handle of a silver spoon as plate, and this scout, this visitor from afar arriving first brought these his offerings a la mode, in vogue to Artemis, given she, the goddess of the moon, the hunt, the wilderness, consented to a close-up. We have an image, candid, enigmatic, full of contradictions, her portrait for posterity. She'd crowned first, she led the way, her twin Apollo following, always trailing in her wake. But more than this, and as is the case with every firstborn, the infant obstetrician is midwife, and births the mother.
Well, those were wonderful, inspiring words from Maria Mcmanus. Thank you so much, Maria. Now, in 2019, the Best Craftsperson or Apprentice on a Heritage Rescue or Repair Project Award was won by brothers Andrew and Brian Rooney for their outstanding work on the Mourne Wall restoration.
Repairing the 22-mile Mourne Wall would be daunting enough using modern tools and technology, but a team led by local stonemasons Andrew and Brian Rooney completed the job ahead of schedule using the same techniques their grandfather used when working on the original construction. That included a long hike to work each day.
The Mourne Wall is such an important feature in the landscape. In fact, local people would say it almost seems to grow out of the landscape. And then for the thousands of walkers that use the Mournes, it's hugely important as well. It's a shelter from the wind, guides them through the hills. They call it the granite handrail. You have a European designated habitat there, heathland, which is very sensitive to pressure of trampling. So one of the big things was minimising the use of machinery. These guys were so well versed in traditional techniques and so keen to use the techniques that their forefathers had used. That was a huge start.
They had to travel up to 6 kilometres per day and walk with their tools, sledgehammers, scaffold planks and all of the provisions for the day up to where the repairs were to be carried out.
My grandfather worked on it, and it was always a very iconic symbol to the Mourns. The wall starts wider at the bottom and slopes in to a narrow at the top. It's built with two skins. You have a skin on this side and a skin on the back. And every so often you would have a through stone. But this is actually the stone that keeps the two skins together. And then at the top you have your capping stone.
Well, originally this was a 4-year programme of investment, and Rooney Brothers with Gita Construction completed the wall in under 2 years. Originally it was planned that we would only be working in summer conditions, but the Rooneys, in tribute to them, went through all seasons and all types of weather.
It's different than any other building site. A cup of tea at 10 o'clock in the morning on the side of, or top of a sleeve burner on a lovely summer's day is, the tea tastes very special, and the views and scenery, and it was, you know, we had some beautiful days up there as well, and even on the bad days it was still nice to be up there.
You were working on very difficult terrains, very steep terrains. Sleeve Burna is probably one of the steepest, and you're maybe on a 50 to 60 degree slope.
It was matching the type of stone. It was splitting it using the old traditional techniques of plug and feather so that that matched. And then it was the construction of the different bits of wall, which all subtly varied right across the 22 miles expanse. And it was that ability, that familiarity with the stone, the ability to read the stone, that really set the Rooneys apart. We've people saying us that we've been walking and we don't even know where you have fixed that. You know, and get it back that there's a great thing for us. That was our ambition, to build the wall back that you wouldn't even knew hardly that we place that we were there, and we got it back to its natural state again.
The guys have an ownership of the wall, and they know the walls. They have stories from the past of their forefathers working on the walls. They still have old tools from their forefathers that they're using today. It's an iconic wall, and these are iconic stonemasons. Don't make too many like this anymore.
We're going to have a chat now with Andrew, who's with me. Andrew, it was some project, this, wasn't it? Cold, long, cold days and a long old wall.
It was, Wendy, it was, yeah. But we had the good days as well. It was a few good days as well. But yeah, it was a long hike up now in the mornings and that there, and we had to carry all our tools and our gear, and it would have took maybe an hour and a half at the start of the project, but as we got a bit fitter, maybe we've done it a wee bit quicker than that. But it was a long old hike.
The kind of thing you could undertake during lockdown, keep you fit and keep you moving, perhaps.
That's for sure. Yes, it would definitely keep you fit. That's one thing. But it was a great project to work on. It was just amazing, and to get the wall back to its natural state again, original state, was brilliant.
And it was a project that very much had a family feel to it for you. You and Brian were both involved in it, but in the past, your grandfather had worked on the wall. Do you think that's something that might continue into the future, more generations of Rooneys being involved?
Well, we hope so, but yes, my grandfather worked on it, and that, I remember talking to an uncle of mine there before he passed, and he was give us a lot of insight on how they worked up there, the grandfather and all worked up there and all, and the conditions, and it was, when you're working up there and you're thinking about all that there, and it was great to to work on it, and for generations to come, the Mourne Wall will be there, and there will be people working on it, definitely will be, because of the terrain and the weather and all there. It will need repaired on time to time,
Well, I suppose over the last year, getting outdoors for a bit of a walk, and and for the times that we've been allowed to, getting out into the countryside has become so important to people, hasn't it? And I remember so clearly on the night that you won the award, looking at that lovely video showing the work that was being done, and the two of you sitting, looking down from the mountains and saying, this is basically the best cup of tea in the world.
And that's very true, Wendy, yes. And what I've noticed in lockdown, a lot more people are using the Mourns and walking on the Mourns. And that's a good thing, you know, people getting out there, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place to be, and you know, and for your mind and everything, just to clear the head, and it's great. And we really enjoyed it. And there's nothing, as I said to everybody, as nice as a cup of tea on the top of Berna on a lovely summer's day. Absolutely, yeah, very, very good. Hard to beat. Hard to beat.
And hard to beat the fact that you enable the rest of us to go and enjoy it as well. Andrew, lovely to talk to you again. Hope you keep well. And I'm sure you'd encourage anybody else to enter the competition and to get involved in it. It was a good night, and it's been a great reward, hasn't it?
It has been just a fabulous reward, and we are so privileged to have won it, when they really are. And it definitely is just brilliant for us, for our wee company, to win that prestige award, and we're just delighted with it. And yes, I would, all companies get into, you know, enter. Yeah, definitely a great scheme to be involved in, a great thing. Yeah, award.
Lovely to talk to you again. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Lovely to talk to you, Wendy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's such a terrific project, isn't it? Now, over the years, the awards have attracted a host of participants from all kinds of different backgrounds and age groups as well. To encourage those of you who are pondering applying, Ulster Architectural Heritage will be running 3 short online information events over the next few weeks to provide you with all of the details that you need to know, really, that kind of assistance that will help you to complete your application or nomination. They're on the screen now. I'll just run through them for you. They'll help you find out about the awards, how to apply or nominate, the criteria, the categories, how they're judged, the awards ceremony, fingers crossed for that. The first event is on Thursday, the 29th of April from 2 to 3 in the afternoon. Then Thursday, the 13th of May, again from 2 to 3 in the afternoon, and getting pretty darn close to the deadline on Thursday, the 27th of May from 2 to 3 in the afternoon. All of those events will take place online via Zoom. And just a reminder, as you can see there, that the website address is www.heritageangelawards-ni.org.uk. So our final performance this evening comes from Bridget O'Neill, local singer and songwriter, and as far as the Heritage Angel Awards are concerned, a very special person, because Bridget has been project creator for the bespoke material produced so brilliantly for all 3 of the awards events. Tonight, Bridget will perform The Window Seat. It was first heard in 2018 at the Guildhall in Derry, Londonderry.
When I decided to write a song about Austins in Derry, there were so many lovely stories coming through from the people I talked to about it. And one of them being about the lift in it that got stuck in between floors. But it wasn't really until Wendy Austin told me the great story about her grandmother, who was a milliner and came up to Derry looking for work. And due to some very unfair circumstances, she ended up without a job. And on that fateful day, she managed to get a job in Austins and met one of the 3 brothers there and married into the family. And the rest is history, but her story just inspired me to write this song. She's a wonderful woman. So this is for Molly Campbell. Every window tells a story. Every story needs someone who's gonna survive. You're gonna share in that glory. Once you found your way and you're on the inside, you thought you had nothing, but you'd studied your craft and you carry your trade, stitching all of those colours to fashion something only you could have made. Take the elevator and don't mind if it stops between floors. All the greatest views are built on dreams like mine and yours. Meet me on the top floor, I'll be waiting there for you. Meet me on the top floor, I know you can make it too. Sitting on the window seat, the world at your feet. Can you conquer this city? You're working all those shapes into your design. You fasten flowers so pretty. You're stealing all those hearts. You're stealing mine. I always knew you had something, that cutting edge you'd never lose, like a diamond that glitters. It's made of something that will always cut through. Take the elevator and don't mind if it stops between floors. All the greatest views are built on dreams like mine and yours. Meet me on the top floor, I'll be waiting there for you. Meet me on the top floor, I know you can make it too. Meet me on the top floor, I'll be waiting there for you. Meet me on the top floor, I know you can make it too. Sitting on the window seat, world at your feet. Sitting on the window seat, the world at your feet. Sitting on the window seat, the world at your feet.
Bridget, thank you so much. That was truly beautiful, as always. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the official launch for the 2021 Northern Ireland Heritage Angel Awards. I hope you've enjoyed this evening and that you've been inspired either to apply or to nominate a group or an individual for the awards. They're just fantastic. And I must say, over the years that we've been doing these, the hidden secrets that we've discovered and the jewels of conservation that people have been involved in have just been absolutely terrific. So please do apply, and the very best of luck if you do. I hope that you have enjoyed this evening. The awards ceremony will take place later this year in November, and we hope to welcome you in person with all of the fingers crossed for that. And if not, of course, we will be doing it virtually. So good night, everyone, and stay safe.